episode 3. Sponsored by Wensco Sign Supply. We are the #1 sign podcast voted on by Koski Signs. If you're watching us on YouTube, you get to see. If you're just on audio, you go to YouTube, you'll see, and you'll understand more when you see the Koski Signs. But Reese, Keith, thank you for voting us #1 podcast in the United States. We appreciate you.
We appreciate the listeners up in the UP.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, there's only like 4 people up there. So
906, baby.
So if we get 2 votes,
906.
that's like 50% of the population. So we're doing pretty good. We're doing pretty good. So episode 3 is going to be on trade shows. So if you've done a trade show and you're curious, hey, what other ones should I do? Or if you've never done one and you're like, which one should we attend? We're going to talk about it. And I am the least qualified of the 3 of us to talk about it. I'm pretty sure Domingo's done like 4,037 trade shows. So he should have the most knowledge here.
He's been doing trade shows since like the horse and buggy was the first one, right? You took horse and buggy there?
I did.
Yeah. That's how long he's been doing them. So
yeah, the first trade show we did, the only thing that was there was wood and paint. That was actually it. And ladders. Those were the 3 things that were available.
And I had to bring the brushes.
I believe it.
I was responsible. We were painting on. We were showing that, it paints. It works. You see, this is red. It's red when you paint on there too.
Hey, there's different sizes of paint brushes. I just want you to know.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go through the list. This is kind of the list that we put together of shows we consider going to. We'll tell you which ones we are going to, which ones we're walking, which ones we're just thinking about doing, and I'll let them chime in with whether or not they think you should go. So to start, we'll just start with the biggest ones, right? So ISA show, International Sign Association show, I think is probably the biggest show in the sign industry, and most people I think generally think it's probably a good idea to go. But what do you guys think?
Yeah, it's either ISA or Print United. If you're going to go to one, you got to go one of those two. So
there's a lot of different vendors there. A lot of things you can see. New equipment comes out during those shows. So if you're interested in looking at a piece of equipment, many options. Those are the 2 big shows that you should probably attend.
Yeah, that's your option, not only to see like, okay, this is what I want to buy, but what else is out there? What am I competing against? And that's where you can see all the different brands, not just the brand that your local distributor sells, but every brand will be at the show.
Yeah, he brought up Print United. So that's the other big regional or national show that there is out there. So when we talk about the 2 big shows, that's what we're talking about. Is the International Sign Association show and then Print United, or the Printing United Alliance, I think is what that one is under. Well, we think there's a way more electrical at the International Sign Association show. So if you're doing any sort of lighting or LEDs, first of all, go watch episode 2 if you are doing that kind of stuff. But if you're doing that, from my perspective, the ISA show is going to be your bigger show. If you're looking for equipment, any equipment in the industry, from business cards all the way up to flatbeds, the Printing United or the Print United show is kind of the ideal one there.
So this year ISA is at Orlando.
Correct.
I can tell you a quick story about when we did. The last time I was in Orlando, Tony and I were going, and Tony said, "Are you inviting your wife?" I said, "No." And I'm like, I'm not even going to tell her till the day we leave, because she's going to want to go, and then she's going to drag us to Disney. So as we're walking out the door, I'm like, "Hey, I'll be back at the end of the week." "Oh, where are you going?" "Orlando." And she was not very happy with me, but hey, I got out of paying for Disney. So this time she's got too many grandkids at home. She has to stay home, so I didn't have to deal with it this time, and we were just in Florida. But yeah, we snuck out last time I was in Orlando to try to keep away from going to Disney.
The problem with being a vendor at any of the Orlando shows is that nobody goes to the show. Half of them just end up at Disney. So if you could get out of Orlando, anyone that does shows, we'd appreciate it, because then people actually show up at the shows.
Usually it's half a day. It's the busy day in the morning, and then what happened?
Yeah.
Where'd everybody go?
The last day for sure, everybody's at Disney.
Day 3, they all show up at the show with Mickey Mouse hats on and everything. You're like, yeah, it must have been a real busy week for you, huh?
Yeah.
Busy. And he wrote this off too. They wrote off Disney as a business expense for the year. So,
well, for those new Signman people that are thinking about going to shows, just make sure that you check the locations, because they do pop back and forth from Orlando to Vegas, and other shows will do the same thing. So make sure that you're getting your tickets for the right event, because that has happened where we have booked something and it was like, oh no, we got to take this sales rep versus this sales rep, and we had to do some shuffling, I guess you would say.
Yep.
Yeah, they alternate cities too, so just be aware of that, right? So Print United last year was in Atlanta, and then this year I believe it's in Vegas. So if you're trying to decide, you're like, do I want to go this year? Well, this year it's in Vegas, so you probably should go because, in my opinion, Atlanta's like, it's got to be like bottom 3 in terms of cities that you get to travel to for trade shows. So
the airport's horrendous.
Yeah, I know that like Koski Signs, who voted us number 1, they only go to the show, like the ISA show, when it's in Vegas, because otherwise Reese, his son, like wants to go to Disney World, ride that Dumbo ride all day, and he never gets any work done.
just the Dumbo.
Yeah, just the Dumbo ride. I guess that's the only one. Anything else is too scary for him.
Too high.
Yeah. So he only goes to Vegas now.
He only likes to ride the kiddie rides.
Yeah. Teacup was too spinny.
Yeah.
If it has a height restriction over 42 inches, he does not ride. No,
Yeah.
that's too fast. Too fast.
Sorry, Reese. Apologize.
We love you, baby.
So that covers like the big international shows, at least in terms of general sign markets. So the next one on the list is going to be GPX. So GPX, the Graphics Pro Expo. Previously, what was it again? Previously?
NBM.
The NBM show. So this is a regional show. They have them kind of all over the place. I think they have like Virginia, Texas, Indy, California. That might be all of them for this year. I might be missing one, but this is a regional show. So if you're close to that area, from my perspective, I think you should go. It's pretty easy to get into. They get a lot of people there and a lot of vendors there. They also have RapsCon as well, which is hosted at one of their locations. This year, it's at the Long Beach show. So if you're into vehicle wraps, I think if you're into wraps in general, you probably should try and get to that show.
I think, I'll put this out there. Anybody that's listening, if you think you can wrap cars, you need to go to the show. You need to compete. They do Wrap Olympics. You need to put yourself against, some of the best, or just at that point, you'll know, like, yes, I'm good, or no, I suck. And if you think you can wrap cars, you need to go to the show. You need to compete. And get to know all the rest of the people in this industry. So if you think you can wrap cars, I want to see you there. We're going to have a booth too. And last year we had blindfolding
hood wraps.
Yeah, blindfold.
This year we got something even better than that. So get out there. Like if you think you can wrap cars, get there.
And if you just heard blindfolded hood wraps and you thought there's no way that's possible, that's why you need to go to the show. You wouldn't believe. We had groups of people do it. You would have thought it was a professional put it on with a whole group of people with their eyes, and they did it blindfolded in under 3 minutes, no wrinkles, the whole thing, trimmed out and everything. I don't know how they didn't cut each other's hands off. So shout out to those guys for pulling it off. But
yeah, that was the two that did the best were Dallas Fowler and Jim Miller did it together. And at one point we did have to stop and say, look, you guys' knives are going right towards each other. Yeah. Like hold up for a minute.
Try to chop each other's fingers off. But yeah, I think it's a good experience. That is a great group of people. But in terms of like people at shows, the RapsCon show is my favorite group of people to be around in terms of just being a vendor with a booth at a show. That's the best crowd of people that they get at a show. It's a great group of people. After the shows are always great. There's a bunch of events going on, so it's lots of fun to even to attend, even if you're not going to compete. Just attending is a great time to see what everyone does and all the cars. It's a good time. So if you're into wraps, do that show. If you're into signs and you have one near you, GPX show near you, I think it's a good show.
Yeah, RapsCon is the GPX show also.
Correct.
So you can go to Raps, even though it's in Long Beach.
Correct.
If you're not Raps, you can still go to GPX show. It's RapCon is a part of that GPX show.
Yep. Yeah, and we will. And talking of shows, we will exhibit at GPX. Will probably be at the Indy and the RapsCon show. It sounds like so. We're walking the Texas show, so if you're there, we'll be there as well. And we talked about the blindfolded hood wraps. If that you think that sounds hilarious, there's a whole video on it, so you can go check us out and see that video too. So other regional shows, if you're in any of the main franchises, right, if you're listening to this from Fast Signs or Signorama or Sign World, do their show. They do a great job, very specific to you and your industry, and they all try very hard to put on a good show. Signorama's the oddball in there in terms of they do a kind of a different show on a year-to-year basis. So sometimes it's with ISA, sometimes it's separate. But the other two seem to have their own event every year. So if you're in that group, I think you should go. Does anyone have any?
Well, there's a lot of training sessions that we've been at, and you see a lot of training sessions going on for franchises, which is even from a new perspective, a new customer or a new franchise opening up. they learn so much at that show because they have so many classes of how to do POS to how to charge for a sign. There's so many things that they should be going to these shows and learning, which I find very fascinating sometimes. Sometimes I want to go into those shows or the classes just to see what they're talking about and making sure that I'm up to date.
Tyler, do you think that Amy from Fast Signs is going to give us a discount because we got that Fast Signs thing in the background? We've said Fast Signs like 4 or 5 times because she only usually takes money out of my pocket. You think she would give us anything?
I don't think we're getting a discount.
Dang it.
I don't think we'll ever get a discount.
We got Fast Signs on our podcast.
We are. You're welcome. Free promotion.
Yeah, I was going to say sponsored by.
We'll send it to you so you can send this out in your newsletter. So thank you. If you're listening from Fast Signs, it's because Amy probably sent this to you. So thank you. Appreciate it.
Discount, please.
We'll take a free outside sales summit, please. Thank you.
Yep,
right in our backyard.
We appreciate it.
The other one, kind of more regional specific, is any of the sign association shows. So Midwest Sign Association has their own show. The Illinois Sign Association has their show. Those are the ones in our region. Wisconsin has theirs too. But there's a bunch of them, like the Mid-South, I think is what it is. And Texas has their own. If you're in those states, definitely take a look at those guys because they're going to be very specific, trying to grow your market, especially regulations and that kind of stuff. So,
you should join those organizations. If you're a sign man, you own a sign shop, you should join your local organization without a doubt. If you're in Michigan, join Midwest Sign Association. Learn what's going on. And it's not just what's going on in the market, but it's going on like what are the sign codes?
Correct.
What kind of sign codes are happening? And get involved in helping, break some of these codes because you don't want a city where you only can have one outside sign that can't be lit. You want a city that has, you can have 4 signs, 2 lit, 2 non-lit, 1 on your door. So those organizations are helping with that.
Correct.
They're helping with sign ordinances. So you should get involved and help, because we all want more signs.
They actually will stand up for you and fight those type of regulations. That's why you want to join them.
Yes. So find your local one. If you don't know, you can contact us at Wensco. We'll get you in touch with the right people. But you should join. If you're a sign man, you own your sign shop, join your local organization. They don't meet very often. It's not like a lot of your time, but you can help fight those ordinances.
Yeah, the Midwest meets quarterly. So they meet basically 4 times a year in one show. 3 times a year in one show, actually. They just do 3 of them. But it's not a whole lot of time. You get to meet a bunch of great people, especially a lot of the bigger sign shops you'll find out are going to be in these organizations. So if you're trying to work with them or you're trying to do like subcontracting, that kind of work, or there's any way you can help another sign shop specifically, like if you are already getting work from some of them, you should join because you're going to find all the big players are going to be there. You can also join the International Sign Association as well. They have memberships. They're going to do the same thing except on a national level. So if you're already a part of your local one, you can look at joining that one as well. But the other one, the biggest event that people should attend is open houses. That's my personal opinion.
Absolutely.
Oh, without a doubt, the best trade show every year over year, is the Wensco Open House.
The Wensco Open House is the #1 sign show in the Midwest as voted on by Jill Dickey. That's what I sent in my email. So thank you, Jill. I appreciate you. She has no idea, but she would agree.
Yeah.
I mean, she might not tell some of our competitors that, but she's definitely told us that many
that's
times.
what she's
Well,
feeling.
I mean, let's look at it this way. People that probably been to the show know it, right? People that have not been to the show, what'd they miss? How many vendors did we have at shows?
Yeah, so I mean, if you're a Wensco customer, basically any product that you buy, we have probably 95% of those vendors are there, and it's going to be the oddballs,
up near
right?
40 vendors.
So yeah, we have over 40 vendors do any of our shows. So if you buy the products, you're going to talk to the people that sell us the product, right? So it's basically a direct route to you to contact them. So if you have any issues, we'd love for you to take those up with them. That'd be the greatest thing in the world. And besides that, though, like everything you're buying is going to be at the show. So if you don't have the time or the money to go out to some of these bigger shows, 40 vendors is a lot, right? That's about how many you're probably going to talk to at some of the bigger shows too, with time constraints. And we just mash them all into one building. So one day, it's like 4 or 5 hours of your time, free lunch.
Yeah, I was going to say lunch provided. I mean, breakfast provided.
Yeah, a lot of prizes.
You
lot
can
of
make
prizes.
a day,
Good,
make
yeah.
a full day of it.
Yeah, you get a 10% off coupon usually.
Yep. Yeah. So we would love for you to come out to the Wensco ones if you're listening to this and you're not in the Midwest. Many of the other ones do open houses as well, so you're welcome to attend those.
So we do 5 locations in the fall and 2 in the spring. We already did our 2 in the or early spring.
Yeah.
We already did our 2 from there, but we have 5 coming up in the fall.
Yeah, so if you're in Grand Rapids, Detroit, Cleveland, Chicago, or Iowa, and you want to come, those will be in the fall. We'll have more information on it, pretty soon.
On our website.
But yeah, you can go and check it out and
We like to pre-register.
And you can see the prizes we just gave away. We just gave away a Yeti cooler and a Blackstone at the last 2, so we'll probably give away something similar at the next one. So if that sounds interesting to you, you should come. But from there, the other one I wanted you to talk about really is like the SEMA show. Who kind of do you think is an ideal customer to go to that one?
SEMA shows, the same people that go to RapsCon go to SEMA show. So that's where like Avery does their customer appreciation party. 3M has a good booth there. That's where and even I don't like to say the O name. So
O name?
the O brand. We can't say the name because we don't sell it. So Josh, you can fix that, but hey, that's where you introduce new colors. So that's like their introduction. Like they've used SEMA lately to introduce new colors. And what I've seen at SEMA, and I've been going for quite a few years now, is when I first went, there was almost no vinyl on cars. It was all about classic cars. You don't put vinyl on them. Now you go, 90% of the cars that are in each booth have vinyl on them. And that's where it's changing. So if you're into cars and stuff like that, you got to go to the SEMA show too. And you see the new colors. They have the best of the best wrapping in 3M booth and the Avery booth. And I don't know about the O booth. And then there's some other brand they sell. It starts with a K too, but I don't know that brand either. Can't say it on here.
Yeah, K,
right?
like the jeweler. Yeah.
I could say it, but then Rick would have to bleep it out.
Bleep it out.
So I'll say it right now. We'll see if Rick gets it. We'll see if he catches those. Beep. And beeps them out.
He's censored.
So that's where SEMA show is the one where they introduce all their new colors, the new styles or anything, and then you can basically see what's up and coming. So
Color change films.
all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff.
Color PPF.
Yep. And then they always have the Paint is Dead group has a big party every year, and you should go to that too. Then you'll see who's who in the rap industry. It's a WWW Raps. I don't know how many W's they have in it.
A lot of them.
They have too many W's in it.
Should really just pick some other letters.
And, some of you guys that are listening, the Paint is Dead guys, the very first party that they did was Carl Brewer's big reveal. And if anybody still has a bracelet, I still have mine. I should actually have it posted. If anyone else still has one, I'd be curious. Can they leave comments or anything on these? On the YouTube, they can.
Some of them.
Go on the YouTube, leave some comments. Let me know if you still have one of those. But anyways, that's what it was years ago. And then now it's turned into, Austin runs that party, I think. But yeah, you got to go to that party too. That's who's who in the rap industry. You get to see who's who. It's pretty neat. Yeah,
if you like food or drinks, pretty much any sign show actually kind of will fit both of those bills most of the time. So if you're going out to a show, you're a Wensco customer now, reach out. Typically we're going to be at most of these shows, at least walking, if not have a booth. So reach out. We'll definitely connect with you while we're there and do one of those 2 options for you. So
you can also check the website for the coming events.
Yep,
that way
we have a
you
list
can
of
see
events.
that we have a list of events so that you can actually see where we're going, where we're displaying, and what we're doing.
Yeah, so next on the list is going to be some of the more specialized shows, so not sign specific per se. So we'll start with the one where we exhibit at, which is the DAX show, Decorated Apparel Expo. So if you're doing any shirts, apparel, any of that kind of like promotional products as well, or you're looking to add that to your business, the DAX show is great. It's in Chicago. It's at the Tinley Park Convention Center there. And they get a bunch of people through there. Any type of t-shirt that you possibly could think of will be there. They'll have screen print, direct to garment, direct to film, any of that stuff, heat transfer vinyl, all that stuff is there. So if that's in your niche or you're looking to add that to your business, that's a great show, and it's local to us here, so that makes it easier.
That's a good show. if you got a bunch of old pens you want to get rid of too, you put them on the table.
They're gone.
Gone. Seconds.
We refer to those people as the trade show scavengers. And if you've been to a trade show on the final day, you know who I'm talking about, where they leave with just like this mountain of stuff. You're like, what are you possibly going to do with all those rolling samples that have just been sitting on the floor for 5 days?
You know, I can tell you who the best is at it. He might be listening. If not, someone will tell him to listen, is Mully from Bus Wraps. You've seen the Bus Wraps TikToks. He'll come to the show the first 2 days with just like jeans and a t-shirt on. All of a sudden, day 3 comes, he's got this big backpack that's empty when he walks in. What do you think he's doing with that backpack?
Yeah, but I don't want to pack all that stuff up and put it on a skid and take it with me. Take it.
Yeah, so yeah, Mully, we know it's you. So
as much as we make fun of those people, we love it. Because you want me to box it up and leave with it? Yeah, right.
Exactly.
Whatever I brought, I planned on leaving there. So either I'm leaving it and it's going in the trash, or you're taking it home with you.
I'm always looking for a stress ball.
you need it.
Yeah. We got to work with this guy over here.
I know.
Need a couple of them.
Yep.
But we'll survive. The other one in the apparel space is the ISS show, which is the Impressions Expo. They also have 2 locations, and they're both on the coast.
It's not International Shirt Show.
It's apparently, I did look it up, because International Shirt Show does fit. It is the ISS show, but apparently it's the Impressions Expo. Maybe because Impressions has too many S's in it already.
Do you think they could change the name to International Shirt Show?
They probably could, but then you might someone might forget the R in shirt, and then it's not that would not be a show that people want to attend.
Oh,
another beep.
Yeah,
another beep.
We'd have to start adding more beeps to the show. Rick said too many. He's cutting us off already. A few other ones. If you're doing any promotional products or anything like that, the big one is, and I don't even know what it stands for, to be honest with you. It's the PPAI show. They do that one in Vegas. That's basically just promotional products. So if you're doing anything, like we were just talking about giving away cups and hats and mugs and flash drives and all of that random stuff, and you're printing those for companies now, that's kind of like the industry standard. Go to that show. It's kind of the best one available out there. But is there any shows that have like kind of died out over time that you guys used to go to? Besides like MBM is a good example of that kind of just transitioned that isn't around anymore.
I mean, the Advantage Open House.
Whoa. Hey, now. You're stepping on my feet.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, well, to be fair, some of our competitors' open houses probably should have died at this point from stories we heard. I won't mention any names, but every time we have an open house, I get reminded of a certain show in Milwaukee. So if you have a location there, we may or may not be talking about you.
Hey,
where
listen.
only about 4 people showed up, and you made the vendors split the tables in half. So if you're someone in my role, please don't make the vendors split tables in half and then put competitors right next to each other.
I have to say we did this once. Years ago. We did this. We didn't make them split tables, but we may have not promoted an open house at all. So that was the year we were opening Chicago, and I usually did a lot of it back then.
Was that the first time or the second time?
You know, that ain't even right, Tyler. That ain't even right.
Apparently, you heard the story. I didn't.
This was before me, so I get to make jokes about it.
So when we were opening Chicago, we scheduled these open houses, and the first one on the docket was Livonia. And I came back to help with it, and I walked in the day before, and tables were showing up. No, I think, it was the day before, and tables were showing up, and the drivers in the warehouse were saying, "What are these tables for?" I said, "Open house." I went out front. The guy that's managing it, or was kind of half over it, said, "What are these tables for?" Open house. It turns out, not only did we never put any flyers out, we didn't call anybody, we didn't tell anybody. So basically, the only people that showed up at the open house were the vendors and the people that were coming for pickup that day. So we obviously pivoted fast and got the people at Grand Rapids, but yeah, we ran an open house that way, and it's never happened since. And I'm not sure if anybody got yelled at that day, but I'm pretty sure those people don't work for Wensco any longer.
Yeah, so that's why I say please come out to the open house so that I can still have a job next year.
Yeah, Tyler does have, I let him know, this is your number. If this many people don't show up, don't come back tomorrow.
Although I do think he makes the number impossibly high to hit. I think he's trying to make sure I don't come back tomorrow. So, but I'm trying my best. So if you hear this, please come. Just bring like everybody, like your whole family. I don't care if they don't make signs. We'll count them. Anyone living and breathing, they get counted when they come through the door. They could have been born that same day. I don't care. Count them. Give me a name. We're putting them on the sheet. We're boosting those totals.
Hit the number.
Yeah. If better yet, bring a whole school bus like they did in Louisville. We appreciate that.
Hey, that's a future sign people.
Yeah, that's future sign man.
Future Sign Man of America. Be our next group that we're going to start. Any other big shows that used to happen that don't happen anymore? You guys used to do?
God.
Not that I know
One
of.
in Atlantic City was.
I mean, we can talk about past ones we've done that were just terrible.
Yeah, we mentioned
we
mentioned three franchises and said if you or any of these franchises go to their shows, you might have been listening and be like, hey, I think you forgot a franchise, a certain sign franchise. We don't recommend their show, so that's probably why we didn't mention it. So similar to the Milwaukee Open House situation, we also had a show that we did where nobody showed up the whole time. So
we made a good video though.
You guys did make a good video.
We made
not at the show, but after the show.
There is an incredible TikTok that came out of that show.
Domingo was like, what are you talking about?
The only way you're going to find that TikTok is you're going to have to find me on TikTok. But if you find me on TikTok, you will see an incredible video.
It's really
me
good.
and Domingo.
Domingo starred in that video too.
Me and Domingo starred in that video.
We will not link the video. You're going to have to go
Please
and
do
find
that.
it.
HR definitely would not let us link that video. There's no chance.
We're getting flagged for sure.
Yeah.
Podcast getting shut down.
Yeah,
There's no hope.
I'm going to tell you one story real quick. The first show I ever did in the sign industry.
What year?
It had to be 1996.
Tyler, what year were you born?
He wasn't even born.
94.
Oh, so there's two.
Okay. So I did this first show. I'm setting up. And I set this thing up with all the equipment, everything on the floor. And one of the vendors came over and he says, aren't you going to put carpet down? I went, yeah. We never ordered the carpet. So that was the worst ever. First one.
Stand on hard concrete. Some of the shows are really hard to get into. Like if you attend a show and you see a vendor there, you just start thanking those people because some of these they're hard to get into. They're hard to get out of. The carpet's $4,000 for 10 by 10 and they just throw it in the trash when you're done. That carpet costs you like 4 pennies. Like why does it cost me $472? And why do you have to set it up? I can't roll out carpet.
Why do I have to fight with you just to carry my own stuff into the show?
Yeah.
Why do we have to have an argument whether I can carry all this stuff or not?
We can't. You can't use the loading dock. They charge for the loading dock. You can't use the carts. They charge for the carts. You can't even assemble anything.
Well,
if you bring out a screwdriver, the whole place shuts down.
Yeah, we were in Long Beach.
Yep.
And we just need to assemble these things to put a hood on, and they're probably going to take us 10 minutes. Nope. We have to have somebody watch us and help us put these together.
If it takes longer than 2 minutes to assemble, they had to have one of their employees on site for you to assemble them. If you use any tools, we were using like a 6-volt screw gun, like not even a regular one, like the little collapsible ones.
Yeah, something like your wife would have in the kitchen drawer. Nick at Montroy brought.
That's his only,
got called
that's
out
his
too,
only
Nick.
one.
He stole it from his daughter or something. I think it was his daughter's play set. He took it from her.
It was like, the kid's Stanley drill gun.
Yeah, that's basically what it looked like.
Well, I'm going to leave you with this. The best advice I got for shows, buy comfortable shoes. Spend the money. Do it.
That's for all you people that sit down all day. Some of us that like on our feet all day, we can handle it. We do this every day, all day. Walk on cement, carry stuff. But the guys that sit around, Tyler, Domingo, Rick,
the brains,
get comfortable. Yeah. Well, I need like
pillows.
I didn't get the smarts. I had to use my hands to make money.
I don't want to get any calluses on my feet while we're out there. Man, that'd be ridiculous. Have to go back in ice. It's a rough life. But yeah, that's the majority of the shows in the industry. So if you guys have some that we missed, or you're listening to this and you guys do a show and you're like, hey, you should talk about it, let us know because we're always looking for more shows. If you do a different show, and you think, hey, this is great for the sign industry and it's not really talked about a whole lot, we'd like to know about them. So keep us in mind.
Yeah, and we're going to recap once we go to ISA.
Yeah, we'll do a whole video on, after ISA, we'll do a recap video on all the new stuff.
Podcast or video?
Probably podcast. We might do both, but there'll be a lot of new stuff. Vespa's coming up like soon. By the time you hear this podcast, Vespa might have already happened, but Vespa will happen, and then ISA will happen kind of right after that, and all the new stuff in the sign industry will come out. I mean, we already know of 2 or 3 things that are going to get announced basically at those events. So we'll do a whole recap, all the new stuff that came out, anything you should look at, anything maybe you shouldn't look at because it doesn't matter so much. And I'm sure some of that stuff will come out where they think it's the greatest thing in the world, and we're like, yeah, no stock. Just check that box when they.
We're gonna recap everywhere we eat too. Tell them if it's good or not.
Yeah,
and we're gonna get Judy on the slingshot.
Yeah. We got to get Judy on the slingshot. If you've been to the Orlando show, you know what we're talking about. It's in the big old food district area. He wants us to ride the swing too, but Domingo said he's scared of heights, so he doesn't.
You need to ride the swing. We're definitely getting Judy on the slingshot. I mean, get a free shirt. Riding that sucker.
It's $100 for the slingshot and you get a free shirt. I don't think that's how free shirt works, but it's good advertising, I guess.
Math might be off.
And it's more expensive than just 2 riders. It's 2 riders and a free shirt, but just 2 riders without the shirt is cheaper.
Ain't right.
That's not how math works, but you know.
Get my shirt.
Those, but we're hoping that that helps you if you're looking to do any shows. That'll give you a good idea of which ones you should attend, which ones you shouldn't attend, and if you're going to any of them, reach out. We'll probably be there. We can talk to you there. So thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next episode.
Peace
out.